Go.
I think that all research is not biographical. And this is because, a couple reasons. First and foremost, to say that all research is autobiographical is to imply that the researcher mentions that was previously researched. That's not their own research, which means it's not autobiographical. It's someone else's work. And that's just one instance. The second instance is that if the researcher dictates how they want the research to be conducted, that does not mean that the participants of the research are not influencing the research in their own way, because the people who participate in the research, obviously, let's go this way, they have their own agendas, they have their own thoughts and opinions on the subject. And just lastly, if the research is 100% autobiographical, sometimes it can be taken as possibly biased research, because if it's 100% the researcher dictating the results, then that's possibly skewing the results. So yeah, I don't think all research is biographical.
Research is autobiographical in the sense that when developing my own topic and like narrowing it down, I based it off of my own personal interests. So to give an example would be I was looking at imposter syndrome within women. To where I got to that point was I started looking at discouragement because I wanted to learn more about how women are discouraged within our different aspects of life, as well as looking at women just because it's more personal to me. And I also like my targeted group is really personal to me just because I identify myself as my targeted audience, which was high school first generation women. So that being said, in that aspect, when collecting my research, it was autobiographical because it was all personal to me. And then when looking at like journals and all that supported and helped me come to like different conclusions in the beginning, again, I chose which ones I wanted to incorporate, which ones I thought weren't so important and significant. And so that can also be like me choosing based on my personal findings and what I thought was important, what I thought was insignificant, stuff like that. That can also be seen as autobiographical. Additionally, we have the methods section. In the methods section, again, I chose exactly which methods I wanted to use. I could have used any of them, but I ended up choosing a survey and a focus group, as well as an ethnography. The survey was, again, all up into my interpretation because I just tried finding themes, but again, it's just what themes that connect to me or that I see within it. So maybe someone else sees something completely different. So the research, not necessarily, or the data that was collected is not necessarily autobiographical. It may be autobiographical to the researched party, but it's not autobiographical to the researcher. Also, when, again, like I said about the survey, in the ethnography, it was images, so I had to leave it up into my interpretation of the researched information that they gave me. Again, it was based on my opinion, what I saw, how I interpreted it. And lastly, when going to my conclusions, it's just kind of reiterating everything that I found, all the results was, again, themes or patterns that I saw. So maybe someone else could see something completely different. So my research is autobiographical in the sense that everything that I collected was my personal findings, as well as my personal opinions and how I interpreted my results.